Assalamualaikum everyone. Today our group will present the topic Management of Collection and Distribution Zakat in Malaysia. My group members are Muhammad Zulhafiz, Muhammad Asri Fahmi, Muhammad Arif Syazwan and me, Iqbal Hakim. So let's begin our presentation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Iqbal Hakim bin Fisal. I'm from IMU302. I begin my group presentation with introduction of Zakat distribution management in Malaysia. Zakat is one of the economic growth instrument that available to Muslims provided by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. In contrast to Wakaf, which is contribute to the development of Muslim society through the education system and the others. Zakat can be considered as a source of solution to society difficulties and it can decrease the number of poverty in a country. This was proven during the era of Khalifah Umar Khattab, which allowed poverty to lowest until zero.
Assalamualaikum to the lecturers and friends. My name is Muhammad Zulhafiz bin Taqiyuddin from IC1105CA. I'm a holder of matrix card number 2019275412. First of all, we go through the definition of zakat. In terms of language, it comes from the Arabic word meaning growth, blessing, clean and good. While in terms of terminology, the Shafi'i school define it as a determined rate of a particular type of property that must be issued to a particular group of people when certain conditions are met. In the verse of Quran, Allah commanded Rasulullah to take part of the property which is zakat from the believers to purify their property. In addition, from the Sunnah also, Rasulullah ordered Muslims to withdraw some of their wealth from livestock and gold for zakat. The general condition for the Muslim to pay the zakat when they meet the following 5 criteria. First is Islam, which is believers. Second is free citizen or independent people. Third is perfect ownership of the property. Third is reach the nisab, which is the limit. Fourth is complete the haul, which is the period. And lastly, productive property, that is property that has the potential to grow. The first type of zakat is zakat fitrah. Zakat fitrah is also known as a zakat body. It became obligatory on Muslims in the second year of the Hijrah in the month of Ramadan during the era of Rasulullah. The rate of zakat to be paid for the states in Malaysia is RM7 ringgit per person. Zakat fitrah is obligatory on the 5 following groups. A person who has more than enough food or property, which is on the Aidul Fitri night. Second, children born before sunset and live after the sunset on the first Shawwal. Third is a person who converts to Islam, which is mu'allaf, and remains as a Muslim until that. Fourth is and someone who dies after the sunset at the end of Ramadan. There are 5 times for Muslim to pay zakat fitrah among them. The obligatory time is the sunsets at the end of Ramadan until the sunrise tomorrow. Second is the afdal time, is before the Aidul Fitri prayer. Next, the time that should be to pay zakat fitrah is during the month of Ramadan. Apart from that, there is also a time when makruh is to pay the zakat, which is after the Aidul Fitri prayers until the sunset of the first day of Shawwal. Finally, the time to avoid is after sunset on the first day of Shawwal. Zakat mal is the property that must be issued by a Muslim for trade revenue, gold and silver, agricultural, professions, mining, livestock, marine products and trading assets. It is compulsory zakat imposed on a certain properties and can be paid at any time. The rate is 2.5% of the total property owned by the Muslim. Lastly from me, zakat mal is divided into 8 types. First is zakat on gold and silver. Second is business zakat. Third is saving zakat. Fourth is zakat on the partnership. Fifth is agricultural zakat. Sixth is livestock zakat. Seven is zakat on EPF or KWSP. And lastly is zakat on debt.
Zakat institutions are established to ensure that recipients may earn money and fulfill their goal of poverty eradication in a country. Zakat institutions function divided into 2 sections, which are collecting and distributing zakat. Zakat will be distributed to the qualified people such as needy people, fakir or ibn sabil. We can see the table of zakat institutions in Malaysia. Each state has their own zakat institution. This will help Muslims to pay zakat easily. And then zakat institutions also can be sure that all Muslims are done doing their obligation towards zakat.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Asri Fahmi bin Johari. My metric number is 2019440194. I'm from class IC110-5CB. In this video, I'll present to you Zakat collection procedure in Malaysia. We go to the first point, monthly Zakat deduction scheme. The payer must fill in the Zakat payment form through the salary deduction provided by the Zakat Collection Center and obtain the employer's confirmation before submitting the form. After the Zakat Collection Center receives the payment through the salary deduction scheme, the center will issue zakat payment statements to the payers every 2 years. Okay, next we go to the second point, which is make payment at the zakat counter. We can make a payment at the zakat counter by go to the nearby zakat center. If we want to go to the zakat center, we can use our transportation such as car, motorcycle and others. But we must remember this procedure will take a little bit of cost such as fuel, and this procedure too will take a little bit of our time. Payment can be made by cash or check, bank draft and credit card in Islam. The payer must fill in the zakat payment form provided at the counter. After we make the counter, the zakat center will give us the receipts for the evidence that we have paid the zakat. Okay, next, zakat fitrah contract expressions. It contains 3 types of zakat fitrah contract expressions. The first one is say it to yourself. The second one is speak for self and dependents, and the last one is speak on behalf of the other party. Other than that, we can make a payment of zakat by use through internet banking. Majority adults in Malaysia have internet banking because it is easy and we don't need to hold the cash when we want to buy or pay something. Zakat payers must have bank accounts such as Maybank Berhad, CIMB Bank, Bank Islam Berhad, AM Bank and RHB Bank. After the payment is made, the Zakat Collection Center will post an official receipt of zakat payments to the payer within 3 working days.
Okay, now we will go to zakat distribution management in Malaysia. Okay, there are 2 roles of zakat institution which are collecting zakat and distributing zakat to asnaf. So, there are some important things that need to be managed by zakat institution in Malaysia in distributing zakat. Things that need to be managed when distributing zakat by zakat institution in Malaysia are zakat distribution procedure and beneficiaries of zakat.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Syazwan bin Sahril. I'm from IC110-5CD. Now I will continue my presentation about zakat distribution procedure in Malaysia. Firstly, after zakat institution in each state collect zakat, they must also have their procedure in distributing zakat to those who are eligible to receive it, which is asnaf. The good procedure and process in distribution of zakat is very important to help community in that state. For example, Mawid, there are several methods of distribution of zakat done by Mawid to asnaf in Kuala Lumpur. One of them is distribution of zakat directly through assistance schemes according to the program that they are made. Next, we will go to the beneficiaries of zakat. There are 8 beneficiaries of zakat. Firstly is fakir, which is the poor, is people who are destitute and do not have any work and property. Even if he works, his income cannot cover his daily needs and his family. Next is masakin. Masakin is poor but has already achieved his basic needs. However, it is not enough to cover his daily needs and his family. Next is amil. Amil is a person who has been appointed by an Islamic government or ruler to collect and distribute zakat in that state. Next is mu'allaf. Mu'allaf is a person who have recently accepted Islam and need a basic necessities who would benefit from encouragement by Muslim. Okay, next is ar-riqab. Ar-riqab freeing Muslim from slavery and conquest, either physically or mentally. And next is gharimin, those who are in debt to get the basic needs of themselves and their family. Next is fisabilillah, a person or party who conduct Islamic preaching activities in public. Okay, lastly is Ibn Sahil, a pupil who are on a journey for matters approved by Sharia, and it's from any state or country in need of assistance, which is zakat. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I will explain to you about forms of zakat distribution. There are many forms of zakat distribution, but I will explain only 4. So the first one is consumption assistance. Consumption assistance is an assistance that will be given in the form of food and for the livelihood of the recipients. Assistance will be provided in the form of foods such as rice, salt, sugar, and other various basic human foods. For subsistence, zakat recipients will be given special money to buy clothes. This is basically when the Muslim want to celebrate Idul Fitri, so the zakat recipients will buy new clothes with use that money. The second forms of zakat distribution is medical assistance. This assistance is usually given to the poor who cannot afford to cover medical costs, either in government or private medical centers. This assistance is given to the poor who need the medicine. Okay, for the second type of medical assistance, it is usually for surgical assistance. This assistance will help patients with chronic disease such as they need surgery like dialysis, cancer, and kidney problems. For the third type of zakat distribution is educational assistance. This educational assistance is intended to cover the cost of study and learning for the poor who cannot afford tuition fees at any university. The applicants can apply for the educational assistance at the website of the Zakat Center. So the last forms of zakat distribution is entrepreneurial assistance. Oh, it's so hard to pronounce that word. The objective of this assistance is to help traders who have started businesses or additional capital to generate income for the poor. Among the documents that need to be provided for the applicants, such as application form, passport size photograph, copy of identity card, and so on. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
The institutions of zakat has implication for both macro, micro, and macroeconomic factors. Zakat gives a positive impact on people's saving and investing behavior while not conflicting with their own job effort. The institution of zakat contribute in the elimination of poverty in a country. As all we know that poverty will motivate people to do crime. If the zakat institution functions well, it will develop feeling of love, cooperation and respect between the wealthy and the needy one. As a result, poverty is not to be a major issue in a real Islamic community. That's all from me. Thank you very much.